Hey guys, how's it going? It's been a while since I've done one of these. So yeah, morning hair. Just finished my walk in the morning and my other clothes are made of rubber. Anyway, I'm still wearing rubber, see? But I'll show you some of this stuff. See? This is what's going on in my garden. A lot of things are planted and potted and look, see, there's flowers. This is a lime tree. I don't know, it had a lot of flowers on it before, but I don't know whether I'm going to get much fruit. This is a grape. That's a lily pilly, surrounded by some cancon and some basil, and that is a broad bean right there. That's another lily pilly. I think that's a Brussels sprout. I mean, some parsleys and stuff like that. Now this one here is a mint bush. Aussie mint bush. No relation to actual mint plant. And my other zucchini's not doing too well there. I might have to cut him off. But the violets are going really well. I'm trying to revive some frangipanis. It's a wee mango. Look at this. That's my celery that I grew from the cut-off bottoms from the store. That's another one. They're doing really, really well. That's my rainbow chard, and I think these ones are garlic. This is some saffron that I bought a couple of corms. Hopefully growing some of them. Some natives, a lot of which I don't know what they are. Oh, some weird little mushrooms growing in my in my pots. I'm not game enough to try and eat them because they might be poisonous. So here's a blue tongue. It's supposed to have really good fruit that turns your tongue blue. Some more flowers. This is a midginberry bush, and an Aussie native. Some bush tucker, and this is also an Illawarra plum, or a plum pine, or a brown pine, or a brown plum, something like that. Got a few of these. And got my Brussels sprouts. The interesting thing is, look this way. See, they're obviously growing a lot better over that side. And this side here gets a lot of shade. So they're doing good, but not too good. They obviously like a bit of sun. Some more rainbow chard, more broad beans. I love my dill. Look at this. Really excellent companion plant, just like basil. See, they're getting a lot more enthusiastic with the growth as we go along here. My Brussels sprouts, and look at this bad boy. Look at that. And look in here. So you can see these little knobs here, right in there. That's usually where the Brussels sprouts grow, as far as I know. But this is my first time growing Brussels sprouts, so that'll be interesting. And look, some more purple flowers. These are awesome. Good to eat. Pretty much everything that I'm growing here has something that you can eat. This is a juniper berry. Spiky. Spiky is all heck. And oh my god, are they spiky. Speaking of spiky, I've got a lot of plants which are very spiky. And I've got, check this out. That's the top of a shallot. Pretty thick shallot though, look at that. Very thick shallots. Or, you know, if you're in America, they're scallions or cholets. We call them shallots here. Here's my, was it native violets growing here? Good in this side because it's all shadowy over this side. You know, with the water tank and everything. And oh my god, look at this. I cut this back really cut it back, like 2/3 of it. It was a whole lot fluffier, and that was 3 or 4 weeks ago. And look at it now; it's kind of exploded. Here's some more of my plants. Some more parsley, which is good. You can see some things are eating. You know, I'm not too worried about it. The awesome thing about a lot of the cabbagey type plants is like your actual Brussels sprouts is that you can also eat the leaves. So you don't have to wait for the fruit. You can just choose to eat the leaves and just keep it going and all that, which is pretty cool. And look, broad beans want a flower. I've picked some off so, you know, it doesn't waste a lot of energy with the flowering or that, or just to have a look to see how it goes. And yeah, that's basically my garden. I don't know what this is doing here though. These are my like little eggplant things. I don't know what they're doing. They kind of grow to a certain size and then they don't ripen and then they die. That makes me sad. Although I'm not too worried because, you know, I don't eat eggplants a whole lot. Yeah, here's some more tomatoes. They're growing. I had a problem with some things eating the tomatoes. I tried chopping it back and, you know, having companion plant. It kind of seemed to make it worse. But then I kind of just left it go and let all the foliage get over it. And there were some that were getting eaten, so I just left them on the vine. And it appears that, you know, apart from the fact that the rotting fruit just, yeah, it for some reason they seemed okay if I just didn't trim them and let the stuff that was, you know, being eaten sort of hang there. So I don't know if maybe the rotting of the fruit sort of let off a smell or something like that that made it more appetizing to eat or less appetizing for them to investigate the other tomatoes. But that's an interesting thing. Here are some Queensland blue. There was a whole lot of them, I think, if you remember, I showed you ages ago, that grew, and now they're like fighting for space. So I guess I'm going to have to replant some of them, probably along my fence line, just for like weed control as well. You know, pumpkins are really good for weed control and borders and things like that. I still got my choco vine that's hidden somewhere amongst amongst all my debris and renovation stuff. But yeah, I've been busy planting. That's kind of my break from things. And that's an important thing, to have a bit of balance and, you know, get out of the house and do something, reconnect with nature and natural stuff and things. And I'll show you these other things. A member of my house brought these banana plants over, so I'm going to actually create a banana circle. Now this one has a little sucker that's come up here. This looks like it's died a little bit, but I'll see if I can revive it somewhat. I just need to, you know, find a good place for it to live. So, yep, I think that's about all I can say for my garden. It's the garden update for a Friday. Nothing really involved in the kinky at the moment, just, well, involved in the kinky, but I thought this would be a nice break to, you know, give a bit of realism for some people, so that, you know, I do sit around a lot in my rubber, but it's not all 24/7 rubber DS type stuff. That's a diversion from the norm. It's pretty much integrated in life, and you get that. There's another plant here that's a climbing one that I've had, and just for screening from the neighbours. And I've had to replant some plants I also brought over. These guys here, they're really cool. They're an ancient plant, what they call like dino plants. Well, we call them dino plants. They what are they called? I forget what they're called. But yeah, I've got lots and lots of different kinds of these. I'll show you. See? That's right, they're called bromeliads. Bromeliads. Dino plants. Really good for the environment and fixing, rejuvenating the ground and all that sort of stuff. I think a gentleman from Australia talked about rejuvenating some deserts or places like farms that are, the topsoil and all that had deteriorated and was all bad. And part of the plants that he used to do that were like the ancient old plants like bromeliads and all that sort of stuff. So I thought that was pretty cool. And a friend of mine had a lot of bromeliads, and obviously got the space for them. They're quite big. Some of them are quite big. And froggies love to live in them. Froggers love to live in them. I like the frogs. Anyway, that's all it is for Friday. And I hope you guys have a good weekend. And I hope you take the time to get back in touch with nature or some people that you have probably not gotten in touch with lately. It's important, I think, as part of your mental health to be able to do that, to reconnect with something that's not to do with technology, not to do with social media, because there's a lot of people that it's become the whole world for them. And it's sad, not as in, I pity you kind of way, but it's sad in that their minds that are once open are now kind of closing, and they don't know that they're actually being directed and funneled like, rats in a maze into a particular type of thinking and thought process. They're not trying to reach outside of their bubble. And one thing I've been contemplating a lot of is basically, you can have someone who's logical but not rational, but then also they can be logical and rational but not reasonable, And I think decisions in life and information, you've got to look at all of that and get a balance of all those three: what's logical, what's rational, and what's reasonable. Not sometimes it can be hard to look for things like that, the counterbalance to all the information that you're getting. And some people claim to me that, I'm only looking at one side. I go, well, when you're bombarded with the other side of the story, the fact that I'm putting up the other side and then you object to it, like, what's your problem there? Are you afraid that you're going to be wrong? And like, was it Carolyn, a psychologist on the internet, she has a YouTube, said that, you can basically, for any academic or any study or any focus group or any modelling, you can find literally anything on the internet or even in studies that will verify whatever you want to have to say. So then it's up to you as a person who's looking at it to be critical and not just be lazy about it and rely on other people to do the work for you. Like somebody goes, oh yeah, that's been peer reviewed, blah, blah. Yeah, but what are you going to look at the peer review? Like, is the peer review standard as good as it was before, or has it gone down somewhat? These days, like, it used to be that peer review used to give it to, your arch enemy who absolutely hated whatever theories you had to put forward. And if they would pick it apart and, criticize it and all sorts of other stuff, because it needs to stand up to that sort of rigorous debate. You don't give it to people that are your peers, that are people that that will just agree with you and think about anything that's reasonable, that will, verify whatever you have to say. So these days, I'm not all that up to peer review, and yeah, it's caused some interesting conversations with people, and some of them, as I say, I just sort of go, I'm only going to go this far in explaining this to you, because quite frankly I'm running out of crayon. I want you to actually think for yourself, and a lot of people don't take those next couple of logical steps in the thought process. They actually backpedal, which is interesting. And anyway, I just got to show you this boy. See, it's a crow right there. But anyway, that's me for today. I've had a lot of crows around here, so it's lots of attempted murders around here. Yes, the puns. Anyway, catch you guys later. Have a good Friday. See ya.